All right, welcome back to another video by Firestarter Graphics and Engineering. Today we're going to discuss something pretty cool. We're going to discuss about browser security and research security when you're researching at home on a laptop or your main desktop PC. Now, this is strictly towards Windows. I have not done this on a Mac because I don't use a Mac. Now, disclaimer, I do have my first bachelor's in network engineering and cybersecurity. I was department head of IT for a few years for a large company, set up all their servers, policies, firewalls, routers, etc. I also set up the main backbone hub for eBay headquarters. I also worked for L3 Communications as a network engineer for a while and set up and managed over 7,000 servers for them across the country. So I have quite a bit of experience when it comes to security. Now, we're going to be discussing what I do at home for my security. Now, why am I going to be discussing this? Well, first off, I've actually had quite a few people ask me, how do I do my research at home and limit confirmation bias? Now, you're wondering, okay, as a cybersecurity, why are you doing research? Okay, well, after I was done with IT, I wanted to be an aerospace engineer. So I went back to school, had to start way down in the totem pole of math, and I worked all the way through my bachelor's in aerospace and mechanical engineering, and now I'm in my master's and I'm almost done. But I've done over 17 publications in different categories such as wind turbine design engineering, which you've seen my videos on, also on rockets, as well as microbiology. So my publications cover a wide variety of topics. So when I do research, I need to make sure confirmation bias is low. Okay, so from a security standpoint, the first and best way of being secure is to be smart. What do I mean by this? Well, I mean, when you go to Facebook, just be very careful what you put out there. I remember, y'all, so many times I've seen people tag their friends, say, this is where we were at this location, the phone number, their friend's phone number, all this information and stuff. And it's just like, whoa, be easy with how much information you're posting on there because it is being collected. I mean, think of it this way for a moment. The NSA and the CIA spent billions of dollars on gadgets and training spies to collect information on people. But what finally did the trick? It was people's addictions to their status, likes, and their ego. Because people are so happy to talk about themselves on social media. And so the NSA and CIA are like, oh, hey, thank you very much for giving us all this intel for free and happily doing it for free. We save billions of dollars doing that. I mean, it's all public domain. You just go on someone's Facebook page and you can read all about it. Heck, if you wanted to, this is unethical, but it would be an interesting thought experiment, is you could, I don't know, copy 100 posts from someone on Facebook, throw them into an AI, have them read it, and then say, build a psychological profile. I mean, very interesting thing that you could do. I've never done it, don't care to do it, because that's not cool, and plus I'm too lazy to even do that. So, now let's talk about browser security at home. I'll talk about phones later. There's some really cool things you can do at your home for your browsers and also at home for your phone. Now, I am not going to talk about firewalls or all these things on the router end. I'm going to let you guys figure that stuff out. It's really not needed too much. But what I'm doing is most people live their life on a browser at home. So I'm going to talk about securing that. So I recommend 3 different browsers: Microsoft Edge, Brave, or Firefox. Now today I'm going to be talking about Brave browser because I really, really, really like them. I also like Microsoft Edge, and they configure about the same way. You just go through the settings in Microsoft Edge and turn off certain things. And so I'll go through all of that right here. So you'll just need to go in your current web browser, find your favorite search engine, and search for Brave browser download. That's Brave, as in Brave. So, okay, once it's installed, we need to do a few things. The first thing that I always do is I go down 2, more tools, and then I hit add new profile. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring this page up, and I create my first profile, and it's always called browsing only. And then I click here and I pick whatever I want. So I'm just going to pick this one, and I hit done. Okay. Whoops. Come on. And then I have this new profile called browsing only. So what is the point of this? Well, when I'm in my browser and I want to do research, I don't use Google. Google tracks way too much, and most people only go through the first 3 or 4 hits. They don't even go past the first page. And there's too many sponsored ads, too much of this, too much of that. So I create a separate profile strictly for browsing only. I do not sign into Google or Facebook or any type of social media on this profile. It is strictly for browsing and banking only. And browsing does include streaming videos and music. So Netflix, HBO Max, those things. So this browser does not see anything else except that. Okay, so I'm going to hit done. And now what I'm going to do is I need to go to, and you have to do this for each profile that you create. Now I create 3 profiles: Facebook only, browsing only, and Google only. So Google only, I'm signed in, and it's for Gmail, YouTube, and Google Docs. And YouTube. I think I already said that. Anyways, so that's only I don't do any searching inside that Google only profile. Just use the Google apps. That is it. So this is what you have to do each profile. It's a little tedious, yes, but it's well worth it. So you're going to go to settings. First thing I do is I go to appearance. I go to the theme and I turn it to dark. That's for me. Then I go to, is it content? No, sorry. Privacy and security. I'm going to look underneath the browsing history stuff and just see on exit, do I want anything to be deleted on exit, or do I want to delete any data? At the moment, I do not. So I'm going to go to security. I'm going to do standard protection, use secure DNS, and I'm going to leave it at that. Now I'm going to hit back. Let's see, site and shield settings. Is there anything in here we need to mess with? Shield status. Nope, we don't have any sites added. We don't need to worry about that. Permissions, location camera. Don't need to worry about that. Content block. Cookies. Third-party cookies is everything's already done. Okay, nothing needed there. So, next, I'm going to go to, let's see, send do not track request. Yes, because I do not want to be tracked. So that's going to add quite a few things. A little bit of extra protection. Okay, is there anything else here? Data collection. Let's see, these private responses help Brave estimate the overall usage of certain features. Okay. And then daily usage ping. That's okay, but you can turn it off if you want. You can turn this on. This is all telemetry data, which is basically how well, if you have crash reports or something, you can send the bug reports to them. They're not going to send passwords or any of these other things, but you're more than welcome to turn them on and off. So it's up to you. Now, let's go back to I'm going to go to the search, and the first thing I'm going to do is type in WE. I think is it We Divine? I always forget how it's spelled. Is it WID? Right here, yes, WID, right here. So I turn that off, and then I relaunch the browser, because with this on, Amazon and any streaming like Netflix and everything has a very hard time playing, and it won't work. So turn that off. Okay, So that, now let's go back up to here and type in uBlock. Then it'll say 2 results within this manifest v2 extensions. You're going to click that. And you're going to want to hit enable uBlock origin, and you're going to hit add extension. Then you're going to hit close. Then you hit enable add guard, and it's going to install it. Just hit add extension, and you're going to close, and you're going to close. So if you're like, okay, how do I access those extensions now? You're going to click this little puzzle piece. You're going to click the pin and the pin. So now they're up there. So what is AdBlock and what is uBlock? Well, uBlock and AdBlock, they block tracking. So if you go to settings of it and you go to filter lists, it'll show you all the things that it's blocking. And there's a lot. The defaults work great. There's a few other things that I like too. Under cookie notices, I hit easy list and then easy list social widgets. Annoyances, I do these two. And then I hit apply changes. And let's see, is there anything else I need to do? Built in, that's good. Ads, AdGuard ads, I do privacy. AdGuard URL tracking protection. Malware. Sometimes I do this one. Sometimes it breaks websites. Sometimes, so I might just leave that one off. I'm going to hit apply changes. So those are the things that I use, and it works really well. So we'll go ahead. You don't have to configure anything in AdGuard, but what this does is anytime a website wants to track, it's going to send information to one of their tracking servers, which is some random address. I don't know, it could be we.track.u.google.123.com. And so I think there's a lot of volunteers out there who run a lot of network analysis, and they see where everything is talking to. It's called phoning home. So they see all these things that phone home, and then they add those web addresses to uBlock so that it has something to compare to, and then it runs it through the filters and blocks it. So it's sort of like a firewall in a way. So that's what you do first. Is I always install these two extensions. Now, what you do third is you go to extensions, visit web store. A third extension you need to install is called Privacy Badger. And you can hit add to Brave, hit add extension, and this is going to block even more tracking. And then it's going to open up a window, give it a second, and it's right before you click something, it'll open that window. So I'm going to go ahead and close that and just leave the settings up. If I click this, and then I open that, and then it will tell me whenever I hit a website, if it's tracking or what it's doing. Let's see. Since it's the first time I've been here, let's see if it, so food. So look at this. uBlock is blocking 12 tracking attempts so far. AdGuard has done 0 at the moment.
Indian food for the.
I accidentally clicked on that one, but it's just going to keep blocking. So 35 tracking attempts. So anyway, that's how it works. So 37 and 40. It's just going to get higher and higher and higher. So let's just do a new tab. I'm going to close that. Okay. So these three are what I use for all my privacy tracking. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I go to settings again. So in all three profiles, you have to do this. It's a little bit of a hassle, I know. So I'm going to go to settings and search engine. Brave is a really good search engine. It's completely anonymous, encryption, everything. You can change it to DuckDuckGo or Start Page. I really like Start Page for research a lot. DuckDuckGo is good too. So I'm just going to hit these both to Start Page and set as default. Now, let's see. Is there anything else? Nope, I think this is pretty good for at least the browsers. So now if you click up here, you can do Facebook, Google only, and notice I have another one for browsing. I was just making a whole new one so that you can see. And so you can just click on the other profile and it switches you. And each time it does is it puts the new window down here. Now, each one of these are kind of like virtually sandboxed in the operating system. So they do not have any crosstalk between each other. So it really is awesome. Now, this is my Facebook profile one only. And if you go to extensions, you need to do all the other extensions plus one extra. You might hear my cat meow here in a minute. And it's called News Feed. Whoops, not these. Newsfeed Eradicator. Let's see if this is the right one. Yes. So you'll notice it takes out all the videos, the reels, people you know, all this stuff, and just puts a quote in it. And it's really nice. That way you don't get stuck doom scrolling and you don't get tracked as much. And so it's really nice. But also you need to install the other 3 extensions. And that's how I run my Facebook and all my other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and close that one. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to discuss? Oh, VPNs. A lot of people ask about using a VPN. Okay. So the real use for VPN isn't necessarily security. It's actually accessibility and resource availability. So, for example, when I used VPNs and Road Warrior Access is what it's called, back in the day when I set up servers and was running this company, for example, if someone was at home and they're running their desktops, and then we have the internet right here, which is the wide area network, or the internet, or the information superhighway, or what it's called now is the cloud, because that name came from the idea that in network diagrams you drew a cloud to represent the internet. So it's called the cloud. And these devices are end user devices or network devices, but now they're called IoT devices or Internet of Things. All these new buzzwords, it's kind of dumb, in my opinion. But so let's say you're at home and this is work, just another local area network. That's all it is. And you want to access files on the server, such as CAD files or CAD software. Or let's say you're at home and you want to access university's servers to get SolidWorks, Adobe Photoshop, and do all your stuff for your online class. You dial into their VPN, and it makes your computer think that you're on their network address space, but you're virtually away from home. So it's called a virtual private network because it makes you part of the private network virtually. The other benefit of it is that it will mask your IP address. So if I'm at home and I dial into this computer at my campus, which is 300 miles away, all of a sudden my computer's public IP address is based off of where the campus is. So there's that for masking the IP. But VPNs do tunnel and encrypt your data end to end. It's very secure. So speaking of that, let's discuss VPN options for home networks. Okay, so what I like to use is a free, 100% free VPN that hooks to your computer. Sorry, I shouldn't say hooks to your computer. It's installed on your computer. Sorry, when you're a network engineer, everything hooks to your computer. Anyways, it's called ProtonVPN. Now, I also use Proton as my email service because it's 100% free. I get a gigabyte of information to store for my email, which is about 3,000 emails. And it's end-to-end encryption. And it's really easy to sign up with, too. Probably one of the best email service providers I've ever used. So it also includes the VPN. So it's called ProtonVPN. So let's open it up. Now, when you first hit connect, it's going to connect to the fastest available server, and you get 5 of them. And mine just happened to connect here in the United States. This is not my location. It's just a random place that it's shown in the United States. In fact, when you go to what is my IP? Let's do this. It's going to say I'm in Florida. And I am definitely not in Florida. That's thousands of miles away from me. So uh, that's just where it shows. But if it gets to a server that you don't like, for example, if you get to when you connect to the Germany server, if you go to google.com, it's going to be in German. So you have to make sure to do google.com/en for English if you want it in English, or translate it to the language that you want. But if you want a different server, you hit change server, and it's going to connect for you, and then it'll say you can't change server for another 43 seconds. But it just reconnected to the United States one. That's funny. I'm wondering if it. Oh, now I'm in Washington. Interesting. That's cool. Okay, cool. So, anyways, that's what a VPN does. Now, everything on my computer, no matter what it is, a game, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Prusa Slicer, any app and any web service is going to be going through this VPN, and they're going to think, now if they collect location data for advertising, if some of it sneaks through the tracking, they're going to be like, oh, he's in Washington, but I'm not in Washington. So they don't get my real location. Anyway, so this is my favorite VPN. Again, it's ProtonVPN. Last thing I need to talk about that's really important is I don't use a cloud server for hosting, like for putting data on. I used to have Microsoft OneDrive and Google Drive, but the problem was I kept getting locked out of my account with schooling stuff, and when the school would transfer different service providers, I would get locked out and I couldn't access my data, and I was getting tired of it. So I found a 100% free and open source server for home that installs right here on Windows easily, and it's called SyncTrezor. And it's based off of its real name is actually SyncThing, and SyncThing runs on Linux, Mac, and all these other operating systems, but SyncTrezor is the utility that is installed specifically for Windows, and I'm on Windows 10. And what this does is you first create a folder on your hard drive called cloud storage, or whatever you want to call it. And that folder is your parent folder. Everything that you want to be synchronized across all your other devices needs to be in that folder. And however big that folder gets is however much hard drive space you need on your other device. As of right now, I'm about 200 gigabytes in that folder, so I have to make sure that my laptop has 200 free gigabytes and that my other desktop at my parents' house has at least 200 gigabytes. And so you install SyncTrezor on each device, and on my main desktop at home, it is the quote unquote the server. It's the main distribution hub. And I set it up as that. And then on the desktop at my parents' and my laptops, they are set up as receiving hosts. And so you just connect and share, enter the password, no browser needed, and it will synchronize with the main PC at my house. So anytime I save a file, like a Word file, I'm opening up Word document and I'm creating a file like a recipe, and I save it, it is immediately synchronized to all the other devices as long as they're powered on. But even if they're not powered on, what happens is like I've had my laptop off for 2 weeks. Last night I turned it back on and it downloaded about 30 gigabytes of information very quickly, especially on my local area network, and updated my laptop to reflect what was on the main desktop. So complete update and file synchronization. So I really, really like that. I haven't used an online cloud service for over 3 years now. So if you hear my cat, sorry, he's just bugging me. Okay, I'm back. Apparently my cat was really, really, really hungry. So anyway, I haven't used cloud storage for a long time, mainly because I get tired of the hassles of always losing my data, or something stupid happens, I get locked out and I can't get it. The other thing is, I want to be in control of my data. I don't want anyone else to be in control of my data. I want to be in control of my data. So that's what I use. Anyways, thank you for watching, and happy securing all your browsers. Now, I do this for my research because Google has a really, really high confirmation bias when it comes to research. So I want an anonymous browser and an anonymous search engine like Startpage or DuckDuckGo when it comes to research because it's going to be unbiased. It's just going to be, here's information. And then with as many publications as I have, I'm really good at research, so I can filter through. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it helps you out. Next time we'll discuss about hardening your phones, specifically Android. I don't mess with Apple stuff. I'm not an Apple fan, so sorry about that, guys. But I will be specifically discussing just Android based. Also, all the stuff I talked about today was completely unsponsored. I'm not sponsored by Proton or Brave or Microsoft Edge or Firefox. The principles are the same with those three browsers. Create profiles, install the extensions. Anyways, thank you for watching and enjoy.